the law says that in case of threat or major cyber attack from abroad, the country's communications watchdog will be intentionally disconnected from the World Wide Web. Real quick, if you guys want to help us, you can do so by actually getting a VPN from Nord. With all of the cyber things we're talking about, it's something that really can either be avoided or not happen at all if you can protect yourself with a virtual private network. And if you don't have one yet, my honest advice is you should have one. Again, you can go to marfooglenews.com/VPN. This is the craziest thing ever. So I want to know what's going on here, and I'm sure you guys do too. It says Russia's sovereign internet test will cut off the entire country from the web on Monday. Now, it says here, on Monday, a key initiative undertaken by the Russian government for over the past year to establish a sovereign internet will face a major test. That's when the country and its information system will be intentionally disconnected from the World Wide Web, according to Russia's communications ministry. Russia aims to ready its own web to both survive a global internet shutdown and defend against foreign cyber attacks and intrusion on its data infrastructure. The test is based on the recently passed, quote, sovereign internet bill into Russian law, which requires, quote, all communications operators, messengers, and email providers to participate in the tests, as well as the state-run institutions and security services, according to a summary of the law. Dex, this is a lot huger than people understand. Why are they testing it again so soon?
Well, this time the test is much bigger, right? The last time that we talked about this, they were doing it and they were running through their exercise drills for it, and I believe they were just turning off the internet for federal and regional services that they had. Now they're actually going to be shutting down across large portions, if not all, of the citizens in this test. It's a much bigger deal. So, you know, it's what's really happening is they're creating an intranet because they're disconnecting from the internet. So they're basically making sure that their network stands up when they want to shut off the rest of the world, and they can continue to serve their own services and redirect or send the traffic wherever they want. So if you try to go to Google, they may take you and send you to Gaggle, their own version of the search engine, and say, we want you to go here. This is our server, and it's going to run while we're shut down from the rest of the world. So there's a lot of different things going on here, whether it's, you know, from a defensive point of view for being prepared in a conflict situation. It could also be another way of looking at how they could be using cyber warfare in being able to completely disconnect their internet, but still be able to attack outside or go outside and do things and not have anything come back in to their network.
So it sounds to me like they see something on the horizon. Obviously, they're and then don't you think this is almost kind of connected to this whole TikTok thing, as far as our guys, our military is cutting something as small or as, you know, as what we would think is trivial as TikTok out because it could pose a cybersecurity threat. Obviously, the cybersecurity issue is getting way bigger. They are literally cutting off their entire country to the internet for a day because they are obviously to survive a global internet shutdown or to prepare for one and defend against foreign cyber attacks. So they expect a foreign cyber attack. They did the last one just a couple months ago. This isn't the kind of thing that they do to pound their chest and say, we can do it. I mean, they can brag that, oh, you know, we'll be okay through this, but this isn't like a saber rattling thing. Or do you see it as that? Do you see this as saber rattling? Because this isn't.
It certainly could be, but it's really strange that it's happening so close to this holiday season. I understand that from the documents that were released, and I don't know if they were leaked, but that people have actually gone over. it was originally scheduled for the 19th, and it's now been pushed back to Monday, the 23rd. So, but this is happening 2 days before Christmas. It's sort of a pay attention here. Let's see what's going on, and they're being pretty vocal about it. But there's a lot of people questioning how this is gonna play out.
Well, and we just had a lot of the direct deposits have issues from the Fed. The actual Fed, something was going on digital. A lot of people did not get paid. They said they resolved it, but after we did that episode, I want to say 2 nights ago, we first talked about it, and then last night we mentioned it. You're talking about direct deposits were not sent out to a lot of people. And they said that, no, there's a lot of people that still did not get their check. Some people were told by their companies Monday. That is just like, for regular me, I'm like, it's not a big deal. But for, theory me, I'm like, do I not want to be at home for the holidays? That freaks me out. Now, as far as Russia, look at what the world is doing. China is preparing ships en masse. They have totally made their own intranet. They are training their people that anything could happen at any time. They are basically saying that they have the upper hand cyber-wise. Then you've got Russia creating their own internet in like a snap. Do you remember this? Dex, you've only been with me for a matter of months. We talked about this when Russia said, we were thinking about separating our internet. And then how long was it? Like 3 weeks? And they were like, oh, we passed a law. We are going to have our own internet. And now it's like however many months later, not even a year, we're sitting here and they're on their second test of it. And they are disconnecting the whole thing.
Yeah, they moved really quick on this. Very quick.
Like way too quick. And then us on our side, we have done drills. We showed you this, where we got the entire transatlantic sea crew, I guess, basically all of the vessels that take the tanks, that take all the vehicles, all the basically like the cargo ships that takes, ships or take tanks and everything else over there. They had a flash drill. Normally they drill like with 2 or 3 ships. These are gigantic ships. 2 or 3 ships. They said, no, we want you all to be ready to go in 5 days. Every single ship in the fleet. And they had them do that drill just like, 6 weeks ago? And they said, we want to see if you can get ready in 5 days to move everything. Then we finished our brand spanking new carrier. And they said, oh, no, launch it. 9 days after its launch, which the last one that was launched in the new and they broke the champagne bottle on the ship. The last one took 4.5 months. They did all sorts of things. They decorated. I mean, it was like a cruise ship. They were decorating and doing stuff with it. This one launched in 9 days, is already on its first mission. You've got all the things that are going on, of course, in the Middle East. That is taking the back seat. Now it's all China. It's all Russia. It's all these two. And then, of course, you have the Truman. The Truman was going to retire in T-Man's own budget. And a couple weeks later, all of a sudden, we had the nuclear incident, or the nuclear sub, the research sub from Russia. And then those men, the 14 men, had a fire in this top secret nuclear sub. The sub was recovered. Not everyone died. They pulled the sub back. And then Mike Pence, his plane got turned around. Britain did their Cobra meeting. Russia talked to their defense minister. T-Man had his entire schedule cleared, which we never see. Not like Mar-a-Lago or something like that. It literally got cleared that day. We actually showed you that. We showed you his schedule, and it was the one day that everything was clear. So something big happened. And then, of course, the Russian top military official said at those gentlemen's funeral that those men died avoiding a planetary catastrophe. They are one of the top heroes of the world because they died avoiding a planetary catastrophe. Essentially, it means all Russian internet traffic will be routed to exchange points approved by the Federal Service for Supervision of Communications, Information Technology, and Mass Media, otherwise known as the Roskomnadzor, Russia's federal executive body responsible for censorship in media and telecommunications. It says these hubs will filter traffic in such a way that data will be sent between Russians' internet users, and it should work seamlessly, simultaneously rejecting any communication with foreign computers. The test will evaluate the possibility of intercepting subscriber traffic and revealing information about the subscriber blocking communication services, according to an internet government document. However, the ministry noted it shouldn't significantly impact regular individual internet users, and it is to take place in stages on December 23rd, 2 days before Christmas, the day before Christmas Eve. It just creeps me the hell out. Really, it does. President Putin actually addressed, quote, the Sovereign Internet Initiative this week at his annual year-end press conference, saying it is a response to a journalist's question, saying, quote, free internet and sovereign internet. I guess he just says the same thing. Free internet and sovereign internet. These notions do not contradict each other. That was a quote from him. He was responding to criticism from activist groups which say it's a dramatic and dangerous step towards a complete government censorship and all total information control. Which, I mean, it's true, right? They actually say they will have 100% control of what comes in and what goes out. But that's no different than what it is now. That's no different than what we have. We think we are so free of information, but we're getting filtered information and twisted information based on other twisted information. The real information, the real truth is really us asking questions that don't go with anything that's already written down. It's asking questions that don't exist yet. That's what we call freedom, like being able to ask questions, and that's going away. In fact, NATO, that actually considers this one of the most dangerous things to do. He continued, quote, the law you have mentioned is aimed only at preventing adverse consequences of global disconnection from the global network, which is largely controlled from abroad. This is the point. This is what sovereignty is, to have our resources that can be turned on so that we would not be cut from the internet, according to Taz. So they are, and then it says the law says that in case of threat or major cyber attack from abroad, the country's comms communications watchdog, Roskomnadzor, can take complete control and centrally oversee of the country's network. So this is a big thing. And, you know, of course, people say, oh, yeah, it is. But, I mean, it's really big. We are watching this like a hawk. But I guarantee you, by the time something happens, we won't even know it's coming. All right, if you guys want to end up supporting the channel, you can actually get an EMP shield through us. We highly recommend it. Marfooglenews.com/EMP. If you don't know what an EMP shield is, you should definitely check this out because, honestly, EMP shield will end up saving lives. That's our opinion. Again, these guys work with the DoD, Homeland Security. You guys probably all know the rest. Again, you can go to marfooglenews.com/EMP. If you are even somewhat of a prepper or someone who wants to be prepared in the event of anything, then you should definitely look at an EMP shield. It can protect against a CME and an EMP. Again, that's marfooglenews.com/EMP.
You want to know what's going on? What's really going on when it happens? Go to marfooglenews.com and get Marfoogle alerts along with a Discord invitation where you can find your local state group and get together with the Foogle fam. You'll find fast friends where you'll share prep and intel, and there's even special groups for former and current military. But don't try and steal the valor of those who have really served. It won't go well for you. The Marfoogle fam is waiting for you.